If your goal is to sound more natural in American English pronunciation, then I have 5 tips that I'm going to tell you in the next 10 minutes that can immediately help you achieve that goal. My name is Jeff. This is Fluent American, part of our show called Say It Native, where we look at native speakers speaking in American English to identify some tips and techniques that they use that you can immediately start applying to your own speech to sound more natural in American English. Let's get right into our first point here. Take a listen to this model.
You'll read somewhere, oh, this guy found the chariot wheels of.
Something that's happening right here is he's talking, he's saying, and then he gives a quote from another
You'll
person.
read somewhere, oh, this guy found the chariot wheels of.
So, one of the techniques that you'll often see people using when they take on the voice of another person, maybe they're quoting the other person or imagining what the other person would say. Well, you want to do things, for instance, like changing your pitch, maybe affecting the intonation patterns you're using. You can see the shift that happens here.
You'll read somewhere, oh, this guy found the chariot wheels of.
Notice that when they start talking, so you hear this one guy saying, so he's using a lower pitch there. And then when he starts giving the quote from the other person, everything shifts higher.
You'll read somewhere, oh, this guy found the chariot
Read somewhere. Oh, this guy. So again, anytime you're taking on the personality or the words of another person, consider changing the pitch just to make that quote sound more distinct. It creates separation between you and this other person that you're using to talk about. Okay. So again, that's an example of our very first tip. Just want to say some quick hellos. Hello to Shope checking in. Always great to see you, Miss. Thank you for joining us as always. And Social Vibe. Hey, Social Vibe made it to a stream. Great to see you. As we go through these things, if you have questions, be sure to let me know. But again, I have 4 more tips for you guys that you can start implementing into your own speech to sound more natural in American English. Here's our second one.
good, solid, scientific, archaeological work.
Things that you'll notice there is a lot of stress for each of these words, and there's also some pauses between them. I know pauses have a bad reputation. When you're talking, you don't want to pause too much, at least that's what people think, but the reality is pauses can be very effective, especially in a situation like this where you want to make every single word stand out.
Good, solid, scientific, archaeological work.
Those good, solid, scientific. This is a strategy you can use to make the things you say sound even more impactful, important. It's a way you can make your list stand out more. Pause between every word. In each word you say, maybe you'll want to play around with the pitch. Maybe you can start going down, 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 down.
Good, solid, scientific, archaeological work.
And this is again a way that still sounds very natural. Start embracing pauses in your own speech. It's something that again is a technique a lot of language learners in multiple languages, not just English, they kind of miss out on because they're like, if I want to sound fluent, I need to talk fast. And that's just not the reality. You need to link things together in a way that sounds natural. Because this is another technique you can start doing. The next time you say a list, try slowing it down, maybe using heavy falling intonation. This, and see how that worked for you in terms of emphasis. Good. Yes, of course, joke, of course. And Social Vibe asks a great question here. What does solid mean? A word that's used a lot. Yeah, we actually heard it in our example here. Let's see. How is he using the word solid?
Good, solid, scientific, archaeological work.
Okay, so he's talking a lot about evidence, good, solid evidence. Solid in this case means something that's reliable or something that you can prove. It's something that is difficult to crack in the sense of prove that it's wrong. Solid can also be used as an adjective to mean that something you think something is decent or of a good quality. Like if you see a movie and someone asks you, "How's that movie?" You say, "Oh, it was a solid movie." That means like it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't the best movie you've seen, but it was good. It was good enough. Okay, so those some examples of what solid can mean. Thank you so much to Social for your question. If you guys have other questions about anything, be sure to let me know. But hey, we're 2 steps in, 2 tips in. And exactly, yes. So it brings up again decent, good quality. That's exactly what we're talking about. Thank you, Social. Still have a couple more tips for you. Let's take a look at our third one.
Rather than the reliance on.
Did you notice all that linking between the rather than the? That's not actually how he said it, right?
Rather than the reliance on.
So something that we often see is people are overemphasizing consonant sounds in their speech. But when you listen to this, notice that it's the vowels that are the dominant sound
Rather than the reliance on.
rather than the so he's not even touching his teeth when he's making that th sounds. This is the reality. The letters th, when they're not in a word that's stressed, often disappear or weaken very severely.
Rather than the reliance on.
Rather than the so instead of saying rather than the
Rather than the reliance on.
another technique you can see there too, instead of than the, it often just becomes than. It's like rather than the, and that's another alternative. So lots of linking, lots of reductions going on. So the big takeaway, a lot of times your heavy consonants like ths, n sounds, d sounds, they often get weakened to allow you to flow to the next sound a little bit more smoothly. So I would say, hey, try to shadow that, try to copy it, and apply it to your own speech. A couple other comments came in. One just touched on. Okay. Yeah, rather than is like nah. So notice that again, you get that sound is the part that stands out the most. Just like we said, we want the vowels to be the center, not the consonants. We're always trying to focus on the vowels. Guys, by the way, if you are finding this helpful, then one way you can help me is just by liking the stream, because that lets me know that you guys are enjoying our Say It Native series. And maybe you want to get help like this every single day of the week, especially like Monday through Friday. Well, one of the things that we have is a group called Mission English. And in Mission English, we kind of do what we're doing right now, but the bonus is I get to hear you practice and then I can give you feedback. Mission English is a small private Facebook group where we do live streams throughout the week, multiple times a day. In fact, this is our current streaming schedule. It's like, check this out. We're actually doing a stream twice a day, Monday through Friday. And each stream is 30 minutes long, and you appear with me on screen. So, for instance, if that 1:30 p.m. New York time works out well for you, well, we do that on Monday, we do that on Tuesday, and we do it again on Friday. So, I'm doing that class tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. New York. If the 8 p.m. works out well for you, New York time, well, we do that on Monday, we do that on Wednesday, we do that on Thursday. And so these classes, again, you work with me. We analyze native speaker speech. We do exercises talking about how do we link things more naturally? How do we reduce consonant sounds? How do we strengthen vowels? How do we get more breath flowing? All of these sorts of topics. Again, this is all part of our Mission English program, which you can find at fluentamerican.com. It'll be great to see you there. I still have 2 tips I want to get through for you guys within the next, ideally, 2 minutes, trying to keep this to 10 minutes. So let's take a look at our next one here. What do you
But we
notice?
don't need to do that.
I'm gonna play it one more time because that was super
But
fast.
we don't need to do that.
So I know in American English we often think of linking and reductions. So for instance, need to, a lot of people are reducing that to like need a, oh I need a new car. I need a new car, which is fine. But when the need is stressed and is followed by a to, well then it might be more likely to actually keep that T sound in to. Listen to this
But we
again.
don't need to do that.
Need to do, need to. So in that sort of situation, again, if need is stressed, keep the T sound. That's a common strategy you'll see native speakers doing. You don't necessarily want to make it a fast D. And that's a quick point. How about our last one here? What do you notice about this point?
People venerate it.
One more time.
People venerate it.
This is a very helpful demonstration of stress. When you really want to emphasize something more than usual, you want to try to take the pitch even higher. He may have been saying this, and then he says, people venerate it. People venerate it.
People venerate it.
So, one thing you want to do is try to extend the range of pitches you're using. If you really want to emphasize something, I strongly encourage you take your high pitch even higher. It's just going to give you that much more natural sound in American English. Guys, those are the 5 tips I have for you today. How do you feel about these? Are you already doing these things in your own speech? Let me know in the comments or in the chat and the replay and things like that. Again, my name is Jeff. This is our series called Say It Native, where we look at native speaker speech and try to apply it to our own American English when we're talking. We'll be back. By the way, guys, on Saturday, we're doing our Schwa Mill, where we listen to your pronunciation and give free pronunciation reviews. We're going to be joined by a guest. You can check out our community tab for a post related to that, so you can join in and get your own pronunciation feedback with us. We're looking forward to it. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, good night, good afternoon. And you guys, take care. Yes, social vibe. Don't give up. Keep going. These things all build up, but all things in time. Cool. And take care, Shok. Yes, we're excited about this stream. You guys take care. Have a good day, good night, good afternoon. Bye.